here in the top right-hand corner of the map, Tal'Darim Altar, we have our red Terran player down 3-0 at the moment. From the team Dignitas, it is SjoW. And our second reigning Fight Club champion down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. From TSL, our blue Terran player, Polt.
They're both champions to me.
If you guys are just joining us and you're wondering what's going on, essentially 2 weeks ago we had Polt defeat MC. He was able to collect the $200 bounty and became our champion. He was scheduled to play MVP Dongrigu the next week. Unfortunately, Dongrigu backed out, but it was a little bit after when the matches were scheduled to happen, so we had to find an interim match. So Dignitas.SjoW and ATN Zaka graciously decided to step up and actually played a great 9-game set. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it, where SjoW was actually down 4-0 and came back to win. So both these guys are kind of reigning champions.
Yeah, pretty much. So that means that whoever wins not only gets the $500 prize, but also the $100 bounty that each player has on their heads because they have won the previous week, right? So kind of a unique situation, but it only makes the stakes even higher. And, you know, I said it before the broadcast, so I really like Korea versus the world situations. I like to see those Korean pros take on the top non-Korean pros. It always results in very good matches. The game is played quite differently, I think, outside of Korea than in Korea, so it's kind of a clash of styles to a certain extent as well.
And a clash of styles here, as you can see. SjoW, traditionally known as a low APM player, like I said, relies on his decision-making quite a bit, which is very good. You know, Polt, though, like many top-level players, is very quick on the keys, playing at an average of almost 100 APM higher than his opponent at the moment.
Yep, that's right. He's a pretty quick Terran player.
And as I say that, Polt decides to, or I'm sorry, SjoW decides to spam to like 250 just to be like, haha, I can do it too.
Boom. Well, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, spam doesn't do anything or whatever. But, you know, at the top level, a lot of the spam is progress checking, right? You're checking to see how close your SCV is done to building a command center. You're checking to see, you know, how close some of the buildings you're building are close to, you know, finishing when you need to make new units, right? So a lot of that, a lot of what appears to be spamming is just really fast, you know, checkups on where everything is at macro-wise for your base.
And a couple of differences in our two builds now is SjoW is actually going after a reactor right after he builds his factory on one gas. He did decide to go gas first. His opponent Polt, though, going to opt for a Reaper Expand. So,
yeah, he does. Well, he does like the Reaper Expands on this map. I mean, it is a good map for it. You can jump in the natural. You can run around and see quite a bit. You can actually get into the main or the natural from different areas with those Reapers. So Polt will definitely know everything his opponent is doing.
Yeah, and it looks like this poor SEV is going to have trouble getting away here as the Reaper will eventually be able to hunt that down. But SjoW is leading his opponent away. Looks like Polt is now going to find where his opponent is at as he does pick off the first SEV.
Yep, so cross positions. Now, I feel like SjoW is kind of hoping for closer positions than this. I know he really likes to do that tank push a lot of times. That takes advantage of that low ground, but in this case, it's going to be something very different, it looks like.
Yeah, he's going to go from Reactored Hellions into Cloaked, or not Cloaked, probably. It could be Cloaked Banshees, but just... oh, no, I'm sorry. He may even decide to produce a medevac first, do a drop, and then make a Banshee behind that.
Certainly could be. It's an interesting way to open. I mean, a lot of TVT is like opening harass, stacked on opening harass, stacked on opening harass into your eventual strategy. You know, sometimes we see, you know, one form of harassment, sometimes even more, and
Polt actually didn't find his opponent before.
What?
He got in, and the Hellions killed him, but he just thought the Hellions were maybe out on the map. I don't know, but he sent all of his Reapers down here to the bottom right.
Oh, strange. All right. And the other interesting thing is Polt is making a lot of Reapers, too, as well. So that's kind of cool. It's going to be a Reaper Marine with combat shields as well.
And look at that. The Hellions were in perfect position to stop that, so let me believe that there may have been a medevac coming out. No, that was just anti-Reaper defense there to ensure that his structures would come up. But, of course, SjoW has now revealed that he is going after Banshee, so we'll see how Polt wants to prepare. For now, it's putting up a factory in addition to his 3 barracks and just continuing to invest in economy.
Yeah, Polt doesn't really need to change a whole lot of what he's doing. He just needs to kind of hold off these Hellions, and then he should be in good shape to handle the Banshees as well. And, oh, you need to get that depot up. Oh! What?
Wow.
All right, never mind.
All right, well, SjoW turns around. He loses 2 Hellions in the process as well.
Yeah. And, I mean, the other thing, too, is that if he does bring the Hellions in to a certain extent, Polt can trap him, too. But with the bunker at the front and not a lot of non-marine out. I mean,
Yeah.
SjoW could have maybe done some damage with that, but he would have certainly needed to sacrifice the Hellions to do that. So it does make sense that he kind of wanted to keep that alive as well.
So Polt does not have an engineering bay up yet. Oh, I'm sorry, there's no cloak on the Banshee anyway, so it won't terribly matter, but he won't be able to invest in those upgrades either. Does have Stim and a starport coming up now. This Banshee's going to try and swing its way in, but there are Marines that are there. About to head back, I would imagine. Yeah, there they are.
Stim.
It looks like he is going to. That Tech Lab is getting very, very low. The Marines try to engage. The Hellions are there in position as well. Oh, Polt comes back with an SEV, and he does start repairing this, so he will save Stim at the last second.
Yeah, just barely saved it. Was so patient about waiting until his units got into position so they could protect those SCVs. Really well played by Polt right now. What a great response to that. I do like what SjoW is doing. I mean, he's doing a good job of keeping Polt in his base, putting a lot of pressure on him while he expands. So SjoW should have a fairly safe second base here shortly.
Well, we'll see if Polt is going to take much more damage from this. Looks like he's trying to pull those Marines out of position, but he will be able to finish the bunker up, though. So while good intention from SjoW, he does buy enough time for that bunker to finish up.
Yep. That's right. There you go. Affirmative. Absolutely.
Well, few Marines actually get torched there, and the Hellions, for the most part, get back. One of those is pretty injured now, but Polt sitting on a pretty well-developed two-base strategy. Does have as many workers as his opponent just now, but that is fairly positive to SjoW because he was so late to his second base. The fact that he is still on even workers is a very good thing for him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and SjoW getting cloak after this is kind of one of those later cloak timings that you see players use to kind of try to throw their opponents off a little bit, and it might work. Polt may not be expecting this. In case you weren't aware of what I was doing earlier, I was being one of those guys that like spams the emote things in Diablo. Right? Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks. Flee.
Flee.
Run away. Time to die. Die.
It reminds me when, I mean, any of the good FPS games that had the call-outs in game as well.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
Yep. Unreal Tournament back in the day. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
especially Unreal Tournament.
Can't really repeat that on the cast too much.
No, unfortunately not.
Not really. So, Polt moving out with a pretty scary Bioforce here. I mean, he does have a good amount of units. Are there really enough Marauders in there, though, to handle the amount of Hellions that his opponent has? Oh, a big stim for that. That was surprising. He just wants to get there as quickly as he possibly can, but only one Marauder in all this.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to scan. We'll see if he can decide to make it worth it. Now, splits up his forces, maybe thinking about receiving the attack. No, actually going to start charging up the ramp. Oh, a Banshee floats overhead. It does cloak up in time, though, but that cloak is then revealed, and he scans and picks off the Banshee right away.
Yep. Oh, Polt needs to be careful. He needs to keep those Marines really spread, because here come the Hellions.
Yeah, so the Hellions are going to start pushing their way through, but I've got to say, Polt splitting has been very, very good, and he is able to dispatch of a good portion of those Hellions. Finally needs to pick up and get out of there at the same time. SjoW making his way around the south with that cloaked Banshee.
And there's not a whole lot at home to defend for Polt. Does he have any turrets? No, he does not yet. He does have that Viking, though, so yeah, he's in good shape here.
And looks like he'll have enough for a scan. Oh, he already does, and he'll have enough for a second here very soon as well, so... And there we go. Pretty good scan position as well. It's going to force the Banshee completely away and buy time for that missile turret to finish up.
Yep, exactly. So, you know, Polt just barely ready. I mean, that's so much of what a mirror matchup is just being able to do what you want to do, but just be ready just in time to kind of handle whatever they throw at you, too.
Right. Yep. And looks like, SjoW coming back now. He is still in the scan range of the turret. Not getting out of it, actually. Unfortunately, going to lose that Banshee.
Ooh, there's another one at the natural, though. Might be able to do a little bit more damage. Nope, there is a missile turret there. So he'll kill a couple SCVs on the outlying edges. But
yeah,
Polt should be able to just bring his Viking up and handle that. SjoW has killed more workers.
Yeah,
not bad.
Doing a little bit of economic damage, but has to back away with that Banshee now, as we can see a push coming out of Polt here near his opponent's natural. In fact, SjoW does have a third up as well, but of course the attack army is quite a bit better for Polt. We'll see if he can make his way through now.
Yeah, does SjoW have siege mode right now? I don't know if he quite has it yet.
No.
He does not. All right, so Polt being very brave with this attack, but I like that microing back. just to kill some workers off. But yeah, he's not going to win this fight. Well,
he has 4 medevacs overhead, though, so that is quite a bit of power. Yeah, medevacs are pretty good, man. But the tanks are going to prove to be a little too much with the reinforcements. He is forced away, but SjoW did take a lot of losses there. And in fact, as we can see, that worker tug of war goes back to Polt.
Well, he's in a position, too, where with his composition, he can trade much more efficiently, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all the units that he just lost have essentially just been replaced yet again by another round of reinforcements. So he should be fine. Here he goes again. It's kind of a Zerg style. He's just going to overrun his opponent, it looks like.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be able to do it because that's 2 tanks. I didn't think it was going to be that quick, but yes,